Chapter 3. Struggles of Innocence. The hum of machinery filled the air, a relentless drone that seemed to seep into the very walls of the Medi laboratory. Lucas, a mere baby, lay in his crib, cocooned in sterile white blankets. Outside, a storm raged, lightning flashing against the glass, momentarily illuminating the cold clinical environment. With each crack of thunder, the world outside felt increasingly distant, a haunting sight of everything he had lost. Amidst this sterile landscape, fleeting moments of joy flickered through the dark and cold days. He recalled the soft laughter of his nanny, the warm embrace that enveloped him like a comforting blanket. She would bounce him on her knee, her melodic voice filling the room with stories and songs. His giggles echoed through the sterile space, her smile a beacon of light in the sterile abyss. The static shocks that erupted when he touched her hand or grasped at the toys were delightful bursts of magic. Tiny sparks that danced in the air like fireflies, igniting his wonder. She would have sworn that Lucas could heal her wounds just by being with her, soothing both her physical cuts and mental breakdowns. But even in those blissful moments, Lucas sensed a shadow lurking in the background. The cold, calculating eyes of the magi scientists who watched, intrigued yet dispassionate. As time passed, everything changed. The day came when Lucas was taken deeper into the heart of the facility. Confusion gripped him as he was placed in an unfamiliar room. The metallic surfaces gleamed under the harsh lights, casting a stark glare that made him squint. Gone was the warmth of his nanny's embrace, replaced by an unsettling chill that crept into his bones. He felt small and insignificant, a mere specimen to be observed. The first tests were innocuous enough. They involved simple magical stimuli, colors and lights that flashed and floated before him. The scientists clapped and noted his reactions, their voices filled with excitement as they scribbled down observations. Yet with each test, the thrill of discovery faded, replaced by an unease that settled in the pit of his stomach. The lights blazed too brightly, and their laughter felt hollow, echoing against the sterile walls. Days turned into weeks, and Lucas's innocence began to fray. The initial curiosity of the scientists morphed into invasive procedures that stripped away his autonomy. What once were playful games became tests designed to probe the very limits of his powers. The sharp prick of needles replaced the gentle touch of his nanny. He could feel the weight of their scrutiny, the coldness of their intentions pressing down on him. Physical and mental strain clouded his mind. He missed the soft lullabies of his past and the warmth of human connection. The beeping of machines became his new lullaby, drowning out the memories of laughter. Each test took a piece of him, and he longed for the comfort he once knew, for the nurturing warmth that had been his world. Now a toddler of 4, Lucas grappled with an identity he no longer recognized. Memories of joy clashed violently with the stark reality of the lab. His mind danced with fleeting images of playtime, of sunlight filtering through windows, of the reassuring presence of his nanny. But those moments felt like distant dreams, fading shadows that slipped through his fingers. He was alone, kept in secret, a living experiment devoid of companionship. Days blurred into a haze of confusion and loneliness. In the dim light of his confinement, Lucas found himself standing before the glass that separated him from the scientists. They watched him, eyes filled with fascination, but he felt like a ghost haunting the very place meant to nurture him. His heart ached with questions. Why was he here? What did they want from him? What was he becoming? Sometimes he would dream of an angel comforting him, her caressing and reassuring touch like that of a loved one. She would whisper, "Don't worry, it will be over soon. You can go through this. You can go through." He would wake up feeling a little bit better, hoping to dream about the angel again. Alas, the day of reckoning arrived. Not long after what would have been his 7th birthday, in a sterile room filled with cold metal and harsh lights, Lucas faced a test that pushed him beyond his limits. The scientists were excited, oblivious to the storm brewing within him. Their commands grew louder, their excitement more frantic as they urged him to manipulate the magical energies around him. Panic surged within him, a wild tide that threatened to engulf him. In that moment, the dam broke. A surge of power erupted from him, raw and untamed. It crackled through the air like a lightning strike, flinging objects across the room. The lights flickered, shadows dancing chaotically, and the air thickened with tension. The scientists shouted in alarm, their voices drowned out by the roar of his unleashed abilities. Then it happened. A spark ignited, a small flame that blossomed into a roaring fire, consuming everything in its path. The flames licked at the walls, bright and unforgiving, a symbol of Lucas's anguish and frustration. The room erupted into chaos as alarms blared and panic ensued. In that inferno, he felt alive for the first time, a phoenix rising from the ashes of his past. Chaos enveloped him, but instinct took over. Lucas's world became a blur of motion and sound as he flung himself away from the inferno, his heart pounding in his chest. Just as he thought he might escape, his nanny burst through the door, her eyes wide with fear and determination. "Lucas," she called, rushing to his side. The warmth of her embrace grounded him amidst the flames, a flicker of hope in a darkened world. But the facility's grip tightened once more. As she pulled him away from the inferno, guards quickly apprehended them, dragging Lucas back into the shadows of the lab. For the next 6 months, he endured more pain and testing, each session a torment as he stifled his abilities, desperate to hold on to his sense of self amidst the relentless scrutiny. Yet within the confines of his heart, he held a flickering flame of hope. One day, he would find his freedom, no matter the cost.